Good morning, everyone. You're welcome back to Born to Talk channel. Today, I have a question for us to test what we've been doing since, and this question will be putting into consideration every operations and types of set we've talked about. So the question says, if the universal set equals to, that is, you have math, English, history, French, and chemistry as the elements under the universal set, and you have set A to be math, you have set B to be English, math. So they said we should find A prime. And if you recall, in the first video, we said A prime are what we do not have in A, but you have them in the universal set. And if you are to check that, you will be listing everything else you have in the universal set, but you do not have in A. And that include you have math in the universal set, but you do not have it in sorry, you have math in the universal set and you have it in A. So math is excluded. So you'll be starting with English, you have history, you have history, you have French, you have French, you have French, then you have chemistry. Those are the elements you have in the universal set, but you do not have in set A. Also, we are told to look for the second question is B prime. And if you're to look for the B prime also, the B prime are what you have in the universal set, but you do not have them in set B. And those ones will also include you have English here and you have math. That means English and math will be excluded. Then you have you have French, and you have chemistry. Those are the elements you have under B prime. And now we have A union B as the third question. And if you recall the function of union, the union asks us to bring every element we have in first set and add it to the element we have in the second set without repeating anything. That is, you are joining every element you have in set A to the element you have in set B. So that will be, you have math here, you also have math here. You pick just one out of the two, which is math. Then you have English. Those are the elements you have under A union B. So the fourth question is A union B prime. You have the A union B in bracket, then you have the prime outside. So what are you going to do to this? The A union B already tells you what you have in A, adding it to what you have in B. But now it has prime. It simply means you are picking every other element that you can find in the universal set, but they are not in A union B prime. And that will be your history. Your history is in the universal set, but it is not in A union B. You have your French. It is in the universal set, but not in A union B. And you have chemistry. And those are the elements you have under A union B prime. So the next one is A prime union B. A prime union B is telling us that we should find what we cannot find in A, but it is in universal set, which is the A prime that we've looked up, we've gotten at the top here. So you are now joining it with what you have with B without any repetition, that you are adding them together. So that means sorry so that means your A prime are this, which is English, you have history, you have French, you have French, you have chemistry, you have chemistry. Now you're adding them to what you have in B without repetition. B has English, but you already have English there. You leave it out, then you have math. Then you say math. And those are the elements you have under A prime union B. Now let's come to A intersection B. If we're talking about intersection, I told you in the video before that when you're talking about intersection, you're talking about the element that is common to both sets. That is the element you can find in set A and you can also find it in set B. And A intersection B, if you are to check them, you have math here and you also have math here. That will be math. So your A intersection B will be math. And A intersection B prime, that is you have A intersection B into bracket, then you have prime outside. That means you are looking for what you can find in the universal set, but you cannot find them in A intersection B. And that will be, pardon my bracket, and that will be math will be excluded, then you are left with English. You are left with English, you have history, you have French, you have chemistry. You have chemistry. So those are the elements you can have under A intersection B into bracket then prime outside. Then A prime intersection B prime. When you're talking about A prime intersection B prime, you are looking for what is common to A prime and B prime. That is the elements you can find in A prime and you can also find them in B prime. And remember, A prime are the elements you can find in universal set but not in A. So if you have to check your A prime here and your B prime, you have to look for what is common to both. You have English here, but it does not have English here, so English is excluded. You have history here, you have history here, then your first element is history. You have French here, you have French here, then the second element is French. Then you have chemistry here, you also have chemistry here, and the third one is chemistry. That is, those are the elements that are common to both sides. Then you have A union B prime. So you are adding the elements you have in A to the elements you have in B prime without any repetition. So that means you will be having your A, you only have math in A. You only have math in A. So you're having math. You're having math. Under B prime, you have history. Under B prime, you have history. You have French. And you have chemistry. You have chemistry. Those are the elements that you have in both A and union B prime. And the last one says the universal set prime. The universal set prime is telling you that the element that you have in the universal set, but we can say it's also not in the universal set. So the answer to that one is simply none. The answer to that one is simply none. Or should I even say impossible? So thank you for watching this video from the beginning, and in the next video I'll be bringing a question under Venn diagram. So with that, we'll be able to know how to represent and solve Venn diagram. And don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell, so immediately I drop the next video on Venn diagram, you will be notified immediately. And please don't forget to like and share. Thank you very much.